Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is an episode of Off the Shelf, so we're going to be talking about photo books, taking a look at some photo books, and rather than focusing on one particular photographer or a specific theme or style of work, I'm going to share some recent pickups that are just a good variety. There's a lot of different kinds of work, some zines, some books, and before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and share my actual bookshelves because that's been one question I've been getting a lot lately. So I'm going to show you how I have my books kind of organized and set up, and then we'll take a look at some recent pickups. So big shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you need a website, go to squarespace.com/MattDay. I'll tell you more about them in a little bit, but for now, let's take a look at these bookshelves and just why I love them. I don't know if I should say I love these shelves. I love the practicality and the functionality of these shelves because they can change anytime I need them to, and they can accommodate different sizes and different needs, so they are really useful. I loved my old bookshelf that used to hold all of my photo books, but that shelf is no longer big enough to hold all of my photo books, which I know it's not the worst problem to have. So I sort of downgraded from my old bookshelf and bought these off of Amazon, but honestly they don't look that bad, but they're incredibly functional and useful specifically for photo books for two main reasons. Number one, they're incredibly strong. So photo books weigh a lot, especially when you have a lot of them. That shelf needs to be strong. These things can do that. Most importantly though, they're actually adjustable on the height. You choose how high each shelf needs to be. So if you've got photo books of all different sizes, looking at you, Todd Heido, these shelves are going to be able to handle any size photo book you possibly need. You just need to sort of measure it out and plan accordingly. And as the library grows and you get different books of different sizes, you might need to tweak that a little bit and adjust accordingly. But honestly, these shelves, they snap together with a rubber mallet just super easily and quickly. So I've rearranged my shelves, the size, the placement, where they are, rearranging the books. I've done all of that dozens of times over the last year. And these shelves, they've held up great. So if you're looking for photo book storage, this is a great option. But what's most important is what you put on those shelves. So we're going to start taking a look at some recent pickups here. We'll start with this zine by Liz Potter, Memories of the Future. This is an entire zine full of Polaroid emulsion lifts by Liz Potter. If you don't know Liz's work, check her out on Instagram. She's a great artist, and I'm always enjoying seeing her and how she shares her work. So when she released this Polaroid emulsion lift zine, I had to pick one up. She was kind enough to include this print in there as well as a gift, which was just really kind of her. If you watch this channel for any number of time, you know I love Polaroid, and especially doing Polaroid emulsion lifts. That was one of the first things that I found when I first came across Liz's work, is just her beautiful work with Polaroid and doing emulsion lifts specifically. She does a lot of different alternative process stuff, and it's always inspiring, so definitely a fun one and great artist to check out as well on Instagram. Make sure you give her a follow. Next up, we've got one unlike any other book I have ever owned. This is Same Sum by Peter Happel-Christian, a really, really fun and just innovative kind of photo book. Essentially, you have two spiral-bound sides to this thing. So you have a collection of photos on the left, a collection of photos on the right, and as you kind of fold things in and essentially just freely shuffle the pages together, you're going to change the sequence every single time, and just the infinite possibilities when you're looking at a sequence here. The idea of having the same pieces within this book, but being able to move the pieces around and change it up and get something different each time, it's just a lot of fun. This is a really, really good one, a great conversation starter as well. Anytime I have a friend over or if I'm visiting somebody and I bring some books, I like sharing this one because it's such a fun concept. I do have one brand new book that I'm excited to share, but first I'm going to share a couple of older books that I just recently bought, books that I've wanted for a while, but I've just kind of told myself maybe one day or, eventually I'll get around to it. My bucket list photo books, basically. These were a couple of them, and I've sold a lot of the books off of my shelf here recently. Shout out to any of you if you bought any of them on Instagram. I shipped a lot of books out, and that went right back into the book fund. So I picked up a couple of books that I told myself one day, and right off the bat, another Mark Steinmetz book. I had to do it. One of my best friends, Kevin O'Mara. Kevin sold me his copy of Summertime by Mark Steinmetz. This is one that I looked at in 2021 when I first went to Kevin's house to ship my own book. While I was there, I sat down with this one because I'd never looked at it in person. Immediately fell in love with it, and then I looked up how much they were going for. So I said, okay, maybe later. Well, later is finally now. After selling a bunch of books, I bought myself this one, and if you know me, you know I love Mark Steinmetz. I own more of his books than any other photographer's books that I own. Just can't get enough of it. So I was happy to have Summertime. Some of these pictures, I believe, are in other books that I own, but I don't care. This book is big. It's beautiful. Just really, really excited to finally have this one. Another one that I've just kind of said, yeah, eventually I'll get it because I know I should have it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. American Prospects by Joel Sternfeld. You're probably already familiar with this one. It kind of speaks for itself. This is a very famous body of work and a famous book by Joel Sternfeld, and I really enjoy it. You know, it was definitely worth picking up because it's one I've wanted for so long, and the work is just beautiful. It has this like postcard kind of quality to some of the pictures. Like they just look so pretty in so many ways. And even at times where it's not necessarily a pretty scene, it just has this beautiful picturesque kind of look to it, you know. And he's using the 8x10 camera, so you're getting a lot of detail there. You're getting a very specific look that really only 8x10 can do. But it's a good one that I've wanted for a long time. Finally bought it. Not a whole lot to say about it, but yeah, I finally got a copy of it and I like it. There's a review, I guess. Finally, last book, Permissions by Emma Hardy. This just came out recently. I just got my copy in. This is the most recent addition to the shelf, and this one is very comforting to me. This one feels like home to me. It's a lot of home, family life, and me as someone who lives and breathes photography, someone whose job revolves around photography. These kinds of scenes, these moments, this is what I see and am around most of the time. Most of my days look and feel like this. Very rarely am I going out with just my camera and myself, and I'm out to just look for pictures and see the world and see, you know, new places and do all of this traveling. Most of my days right now at this point in my life, I am home raising a family, and that's where I want to be right now. And so seeing work that feels, you know, similar, not to my own work, but similar to my experience, or it's speaking on things that I'm visually, you know, connecting to each day in my own life. It's a comforting kind of photo book for me. I think anyone who not only has a family, especially if you're conscious of making photos of your family as well and of the everyday moments, this is a book that I think it's really going to speak to a lot of people specifically in that way. The work itself is beautiful, but just the feeling I get when flipping through this book, it feels very familiar, feels very like home, and that's, you know, I'm a sucker for that. Before we wrap up and I send you all home, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I first signed up for Squarespace years before they ever decided to sponsor this channel because it truly was a no-brainer. They had everything I needed. No matter what you need to do, it's all built right into Squarespace's service, so you can show off your portfolio, run your online store, send out an email newsletter, schedule appointments, anything you can think of, it's built right into their service. Not only that, it's incredibly easy to select a template that works for you, and then you can further customize that to suit your needs and the look that you're going for your own business or brand. Of course, as easy as this is, Squarespace is there to help. They have 24/7 award-winning customer service, so if you ever need help with anything, just give them a shout. You can try it out for yourself entirely free at squarespace.com, but make sure you sign up at squarespace.com/MattDay. That way you get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you again to Squarespace for all of the support here on the channel. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed a look at the recent pickups. If you have any questions about these or the photo book shelves or any of the books on those shelves, if you'd like to see any of those in one of these videos, I'm happy to hear it in the comments down below. Just let me know. That's it for this video though. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you very much. I'll see you guys soon.